All right, guys, welcome to the channel. Today, we are gonna do a lawn transformation. You can see that this lawn is pretty stressed. It hasn't had any fertilizer all year. It's a little bit yellow. Now, there's lots of things we could put on here, but the internet has been raving about this. This is called Neighbor's Envy. Shout out to Jesse at Lawn Life for putting this together. But the reason why we want to put this down is because it has all the nutrients that this lawn needs. Matt, what are some of the nutrients it has?
It's got nitrogen, potassium, iron, sulfur. It's got some organic stuff too, like sea kelp, humic acid.
Yeah, so all that stuff is good to condition the soil and get the grass exactly what it needs. And we're gonna be putting it down today as a foliar application. So the grass is just gonna suck up those nutrients really fast. There's even been reports online of lawns greening up in as little as 4 to 6 hours. So we're gonna test this out, see how fast it'll green up. It does say on the bottle though that it takes about 7 days. So we're gonna put it to the test. So let's go ahead and mix this up.
All right, let's do it. All right, let's get this thing going. I put this on my own yard not too long ago. I'm excited to try it out on this yard, but the way this thing works is your first application is the heaviest application. It says 18 ounces of the Neighbor's Envy per 1 gallon of water does 1,000 square feet. So look at how big your yard is. Today we're gonna be doing about 2,000 square feet, so that's 2 gallons and 36 ounces of Neighbor's Envy, which if you do the math online using Google, 36 ounces is 4.5 cups of Neighbor's Envy. So, all right, today I'm using a little pump sprayer. It's a 2-gallon pump sprayer, and I'll include links in the description for all the things that we use today to do this application. But what I like to do is before I put any product in my pump sprayer, I'm gonna put a little bit of water in there. And the reason why is so that you don't put application in and have it adhere to a dry container and then make it hard to apply anything else in your yard. So this kind of keeps all your product clear of your sprayer, allows you to use it for multiple things. All right, let's go ahead and put some water in here. All right, and on here you can see, I'm gonna put in maybe a liter. It doesn't have to be very much. Again, just enough to keep the product off of the container. I think we're there. All right, that's good enough. Okay, now it's time to put in the actual Neighbor's Envy. One other thing it says to do is to shake this well before use. So you're gonna wanna shake it up a little bit. Now we should be ready to go. The reason why I'm here in the rocks, this does have a lot of iron in it. You'll see how dark this fertilizer is. You don't want to put iron on cement. It can rust it and stain it. So when you do fill up your sprayer or whatever you're using to apply, make sure you do it somewhere where you're okay if it spills on the ground a little bit. It doesn't hurt the floor that you're using. So that's why we're doing it over in the rocks. All right, let's do this. All right, this is 4.5. And again, like I said, this first application is the heaviest application. For all subsequent applications, they say you can do it every 2 to 4 weeks, but after the first application, you only add in 8 ounces of Neighbor's Envy for every gallon of water that you use instead of the 18 ounces. So that's an important thing to remember. Okay, let's add some water to the pump sprayer and then we will get ready to go. All right, we hit it. We're right at the top. This is the 2-gallon mark. So we're gonna shove this thing in carefully, screw it in. And then before I pressurize it, I'm just gonna give this thing one more shake. Make sure it's nice and mixed up in there. All right, then that just leaves the pressurizing. Woo, all right, we're ready to do this.
All right, guys, so we just got the Neighbor's Envy all mixed up. It's ready to spray. So Matt's gonna go ahead and start spraying. He's gonna start with the perimeter first, and then he's gonna do lines to make sure that we get really good coverage. So let's watch him do his magic.
Okay, again, like Greg said, I'm gonna start with the perimeter, just go kind of slow. I don't wanna get too much of this iron on the cement borders, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, we're in the backyard now. We're just gonna do this little hill right here that's contained by the asphalt and the cement. And we're gonna leave the upper side without any Neighbor's Envy to use as a control so we can see if this greens up in comparison to the upper yard. So let's go ahead and do it.
All right, guys, so we just watched Matt do a whole bunch of hard work and get the
what I
whole
do.
lawn sprayed. So now we're gonna just wait about 7 days. Again, the internet's saying that you'll see a green up in 4 to 6 hours, which I believe is true if the grass is already thriving. We'll take a look and just double check in 6 hours from now. But where this is kind of already dead and stressed, I think best case scenario, we will just kind of see some life come back into this grass in the next 7 days. So we're really gonna take a look at this in 7 days and just see if we get some regrowth and some thrive. Hey guys, so it's been about 4 to 5 hours since we put this down. I'm just here to double check and see if we had any green up in the last 4 to 5 hours. Again, I'm thinking we're gonna get most of our green up in about 7 days, but let's go take a look at it. You can kind of see here these yellower spots. I think this is gonna take about 7 or 8 days for it to kind of come back to life and see a green up. But some of this is a little questionable. I mean, it might be a little bit greener with that liquid iron that we put on it. Let's go take a look at some of the other spots we did. So we put the Neighbor's Envy all the way here, but we didn't put it over here. So if you take a look right there, there is kind of a darker line. It does look like the Neighbor's Envy got it just slightly darker, which is pretty cool. All right, so like I said, I think we're gonna see more green up in the grass. It's actually green already, but we're gonna go ahead and water this in. It's been the 4 hours like it says on the bottle, and we'll check back in about 7 days. All right, guys, so it's been officially 7 days since we put this Neighbor's Envy on this lawn. So let's take a look at it. All right, guys, so you can see there's a lot more green in the grass. We have a lot more places that have greened up. Some of this grass that's a little bit dead is still starting to come back to life. It's gonna take a little bit longer than 7 days. There's been a lot of green up. I'm gonna go on the other side so you can see. Here's a little bit better view to just show how much more green this front yard has become since we put that Neighbor's Envy down about 7 days ago. We also put some here on this side yard, and you can see that it is nice and dark green. It just barely got mowed, and even with the short mow, it's looking really good. So in this section, we put Neighbor's Envy here, but we did not put it here. And it's kind of hard to see, but it is slightly darker here on this side patch, just by a little bit. So it did seem to darken it a little bit more than the other side. And down here, we put Neighbor's Envy on this bottom patch here in the backyard, and we didn't put any up here. And it's hard to see this on camera, but this is a slightly darker shade of green. Here's another shot just so that you can see it. All right, so would I suggest using Neighbor's Envy if you need to green up your lawn? I mean, yeah, I think I would. It's definitely got all the essential nutrients that your lawn needs to be able to green up, especially if it's yellow or dead, or if it's green, it has some really cool stuff in there to get it even greener. So if you're looking to get your lawn transformed and have it kind of come back to life after a hot summer, or if you are really just loving your lawn, it's green, but you want to just deepen it with a darker green, I would definitely suggest Neighbor's Envy. Now, if you notice that there's just parts of your lawn that you just can't seem to improve no matter what you put down on it, then you're gonna wanna watch this video where we go over from start to finish how to take a soil sample test of your lawn. By taking a soil sample test, you'll know exactly the deficiencies that your lawn has and what it needs to be able to green up and look healthy again. So click this video and we'll see you over there.